We're back, everybody. Nerdcast Podcast. What up?
What's good, nerds? Your nerd overlords are back for another, after a long, long wait, episode of the Nerdcast Podcast.
Yeah, then busy running around. Got to celebrate Tanae's birthday.
Oh
That
yeah.
was a great time. Took her to Madison for some authentic ramen. First time she's experienced that, so that was pretty
Ooh.
dope.
Oh, first time
Then
experiencing ramen. That's great.
yeah, and yeah, she's had pho before, but I was like, it's different. It's same but different. Like so like like seeing her get to experience something new like that is always fun. We went to this dope place in Madison called Morris Ramen, and damn, like it was just spot on, phenomenal. That's like my second time being there. The first time I went with my buddy in his bachelor party, and that was part of that whole experience. So that was just it's becoming my favorite spot anytime I go to Madison. But yeah, then I took her to Barnes and Noble and let her do a Barnes and Noble shopping spree.
Oh, nice. Barnes and Noble shopping spree. That's awesome.
Yeah, I basically was like, all right, you get 3 minutes to plan and 5 minutes to grab whatever you want.
Supermarket sweep. Hurry up.
Yeah, basically. And then I was like, go.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah. Me over here we've all been trying to build up A&E.
Hmm.
I've been behind the scenes trying to acquire, how should I say, like new assets. I guess we got a new member of A&E.
A new perspective.
Yeah, exactly, a new perspective. And he was gonna join us tonight, but he got busy with the wife. So we all can relate to that. When duty
Oh
calls,
yeah.
duty calls. He had to cook, had to do some things. He lives out in Arizona, so.
Oh man, that Arizona. It's
Mhm.
such a cool place, but I could never live there because that heat is something else. And also, I don't like scorpions.
That is another thing. Yeah, it's like Texas, like their wildlife, like their nature is like completely different from here in North Carolina, and I'm sure from there in Wisconsin. It's just like that. Instead
Oh
of
my God,
seeing
yeah.
a spider crawling on your wall, you may see a scorpion.
And I would shit myself. I'm not.
Yeah, the one time I went to Texas, I went to San Antonio to visit friends, and I had a lot of fun. But I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a scorpion in the room, like a tiny one. And I hear those things are like the scarier ones.
Yeah, they're the worst ones because they can technically control the amount of venom they throw in, but the young ones
Mm,
don't have that control yet.
mm,
Much
mm.
like any young guy. It's
It's just really,
very
it's
sim
a
it's a very
it's a
similar.
it's a very good analogy.
The older you get, the more self-control you have. The younger you are, you're just like, let's do this.
Whatever's there.
Yep.
Oh man, so we got a good Nerdcast podcast planned out for you guys today. We're gonna go over a little bit of we're gonna stick to some sports this time. We haven't done any sports in quite some time.
Well,
We
let's
have
go into some pretty important sports times. Like we got the NFL playoffs. Man, that's been wild.
Well, I guess the
Like,
playoffs are pretty much over. It's the Super Bowl, baby.
mhm. And man, like it was I would say this has probably been one of the more cooler playoffs that I've watched in a while, just because seeing teams like the Lions just make such a dominant push, but it sucks to see them go like that. But again,
Yeah,
super cool to see that underdog team kind of stepping up like that. Um, Man, I was one of the people. I was one of the people that wanted the playoffs to be the Ravens and I wanted the Super Bowl to be the Ravens and the Lions.
yeah,
Like that would have been so cool.
yeah. After not even after the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs, but after November, I was like, okay, the Eagles suck. They weren't even supposed to be here. I am rooting for Lamar Jackson to win the Super Bowl. And we might as well dive right into it. We'll start with the Ravens. They completely fumbled the entire bag. Like, what the
Yep.
hell was that? Lamar Jackson, I'm not even going to say he played terribly, but
He truly didn't. Like he created the opportunities he could.
yeah, he played decent. He did not. He didn't play like the superstar and like the Lamar Jackson we know. Like you have to be that guy. Like what
Mm,
separates that guy from everyone else is, what we talked about before, like game changers, game managers. Like game changers, they look around, they see that the game is not going how expected. We're not executing like we're supposed to. I got to put the team on my back. Let's go,
right.
boys. Get on my back. I'm going to get you guys there. They had every opportunity to do it, every single opportunity to do it. Like they stopped they limited I was about to say the Patriots because we're so used to seeing the Patriots. They limited the Chiefs to 17 points.
Mm,
That's your opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. 17 points, you can score 3 touchdowns. And what did he do? I don't know. It felt like he was trying to prove a point and did not, he wasn't Lamar Jackson. Like you run,
mm,
you're not like, he's only good at running because he's a phenomenal passer. But when they're shutting
yep.
down your receivers and they cannot get open, you do what you do best. Like you do what you do better than anyone else in the NFL. You put the team on your
Yeah.
back and you take it. And I was watching the game, I was getting furious. Like I was an actual Ravens fan. I'm like, look, there's a lane right there. That's a lane right there. Go. And then that one play, I think they were like on their own 30 or somewhere. It was like third down, and he's like scrambling, but not. He's like
Yeah.
he looked like a Brock Purdy, like he looked like a Daniel Jones, like I'm going to run it, and he's faking
Mm,
the run, but he wanted to pass it. He had all the opportunities, and he didn't do what he does best. As plain as we can put it.
yeah.
I, I I was furious, so mad. It's not like I don't like the Chiefs. I love Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, like my
Mm,
wife, she was upset. She's like, I'm tired of seeing them go to the Super Bowl, and I've heard that throughout the playoffs from other people. And it's like they're tired of seeing the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, I kind of like seeing Pat Mahomes build this legacy of the best quarterback of all time.
yeah.
So did I want to see the Ravens go and win their first Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson? Yes. But am I rooting for the Chiefs to win now? Of course, because I'm an Eagles fan and we don't really like the Niners that much. Although I must
Well,
say,
he
I will
think.
I must say I will admit I was a Brock Purdy skeptic slash hater. And I'm not really a hater. I don't hate on people that much except for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I
And
was about to say, hold on.
yeah, I just have a huge disdain for their fans mostly.
Mm,
Dak Prescott, he really leaned into unlikable this year. And and side note, that's why they lost.
yeah.
Going into the playoffs, I actually was scared. I was like, are the Cowboys going to win? Are the Cowboys going to go to the Super Bowl this year? Like
Oh, I was never scared.
they had an
I was
opportunity.
never worried about that.
I understand they beat up on bad teams, but like CD Lamb, there's always one Cowboy that I love. CD Lamb was that guy. I love CD Lamb. He's
Mm,
really good. I hate it when we play him because he just catches everything. He's a great route runner. Not the fastest guy, but he's just an intelligent, great receiver. But they look like, they were ready to go to the Super Bowl. Their defense was pretty good, but also, like I said, the caveat of beating up on bad teams. But they got full of
Hmm.
themselves, and that's what beating up on bad teams does to you. Even if you're good enough to go to the Super Bowl, if you're ran by somebody like Jerry Jones, you think you're hot shit. You think you're hot shit, and you lose sight of what's actually at hand right here. And
Right.
that that's not what happened to the Ravens. The Ravens, they just like completely stopped doing what they were doing throughout the whole season, which is running the ball well, Lamar Jackson being Lamar Jackson, and he wasn't even like the running type Lamar Jackson like he usually is. He was like a executioner passer this year. He was really good he proved to everybody. You already proved it. Like, why are you trying to throw the ball so much? Look, you know what? I'm getting too mad again. Go ahead. Go.
I get too mad again. Well, like I mean, I definitely like I can agree with like a lot of that. I it's not that I don't think like I agree that like Lamar definitely wasn't like on his regular season level, but also man, like that Chiefs defense was just suffocating. Like I
Yep.
think that was a lot about it too. Because I didn't watch the full game, but like every moment I saw, number 95 was just breaking off the edge and was pretty much chasing down Lamar every chance he got. So like I'm not gonna say it wasn't like look, I think it was a combo of Lamar not really feeling it, which is going to be the biggest problem for that Ravens team if they continue down this path, is if Lamar is not feeling it, who do you really have that can even pick up that slack? Like, yeah, your defense can do what they can do, but on your offense, if you don't have like a strong like running back or a CD Lamb-esque receiver, what are you gonna like? What else are you gonna be able to do? Because I mean, hell, like you said, like we can talk about the Cowboys. Imagine if Dak didn't have like if he didn't have CD Lamb or he didn't have what's his name Pollard, who didn't have the best season this year, but is still
Yeah.
like oh an overall still solid running back. Like that Cowboys team would be trash, like trashier than it already is.
This is
But yeah,
true.
man, like that it like it. I was disappointed in the overall offense of the Ravens. Zay stepped up the first few plays that I saw. He had some really great catches, but yeah, man, like if like it's like when Lamar is having his off days, there's no heart on the team. And that
Right.
was really showing, like you said. But
And
yeah, like I also got to say the Chiefs defense, man, they stepped up. They took advantage of it. They could tell something was off and they're like, "Yo, we can just rush these fools because nobody's comfortable on the over on that side."
yeah, and that I didn't mean to
Right?
like I don't know if it sounded like I was putting it on the Ravens lost the game. It was totally the Chiefs defense.
Hmm.
Like that defense, like people were saying that defense is top tier, and some were saying like, yeah, they're good but not the best. But no, they proved like they were the best defense in the league this year. And that number 95, Chris Jones, was wreaking
Yeah.
havoc, all over them. And but that's what I mean by they did fumble because
Hmm.
Patrick Mahomes was not like the best Patrick Mahomes we ever seen that game.
No.
He's just so strategic and so he has that killer mentality, like they say in basketball. Like he's not going to make a mistake,
Hmm.
and when there's an opportunity, he is going to seize upon it. He's one of the best scramblers in the game, not because he's fast and super athletic, which he's not really. He's just he can scoot a
Nope.
little bit, and
He's got the jump.
he has that eye. He can see what's coming. He can fool you, and you're scared of his passes. You're scared of
Hmm.
what he can do as a quarterback in general. So he has that you know that weapon in his repertoire, just being so mentally in the zone at all times. And like I said, like the Ravens defense played so good, limited them to 17 points, but the offense was not there. And Like Lamar Jackson had a decent game, but he didn't. He had to win that game,
Hmm.
and that's what I mean. And then we got to talk about what is the receiver, um,
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. Oh, oh, I know he was killing himself. Like he was hurt. He was like
Hmm.
kicking himself in the head for sticking that ball out. Like first of all, I thought he could have scored just by like
Yeah,
powering through because
yeah.
it was
And
right there.
that's exactly the thought I think he had. He was like,
But
fuck.
no, he didn't have that thought because he stuck the ball out.
No,
It
I
was
mean, like, as soon as he did it, he was probably like, damn it.
oh yeah. Because like, what does Bill Belichick say all the time? To used to say to the Patriots all the time, like you don't stick the ball out, you don't reach because
Nope.
things like that happen. And if you don't get the touchdown, you're on the one. You are on the one. Like
Yeah.
ah, and and,
But
and then and then he got mad and cut his hand on his helmet and was
mhm.
basically useless. So like they had plenty of opportunities, especially in that third quarter, to turn it around and like score, make the game closer, and change momentum, but
Right.
they failed. And
Man, why?
this was their best year. This was their best team they've had, the biggest opportunity they had to win a Super Bowl, and they completely fumbled the bag. But
Yep.
on to the NFC.
Oh, that was heartbreaking. That
Yes,
truly was. Like that was a tough one to watch.
it was a good one to watch, and then the third quarter happened, and then it was excruciating,
Yep.
excruciating. I'm sure even more for those fans, and especially for the fans in the stadium.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like watching your team truly just get complacent, fall apart during like the most important game. The most important game.
The
Like
like, yeah, I mean, complacent isn't even the word. It's like they stopped
they just stopped
playing
trying.
as if
Yep.
they won. You had players taunting and waving bye bye to the San Fran fans in the second
When it
quarter.
was, yeah, it's like, bro,
Second
what are you
quarter.
doing?
This is the San Francisco 49ers. 21 points,
Right.
17 points is not anything to them. Like that's,
Mm-mm.
I mean, yeah, you could shake somebody up. Brock Purdy, he was shook up, but like I said earlier in the season, Brock Purdy won me over. Like I still hate San Fran, but Brock Purdy won me over. He's a
Yeah.
really good quarterback. He's not great yet. He made some great plays, and he did what Lamar Jackson should have did. He put the team on his back. He made
Hmm.
some plays. He had 1 yard, one more rushing yards than Lamar Jackson did, I think, in their game. I believe it was
Yep, he did.
like one more rushing yard. Like it was.
Yeah, like, it truly wasn't like it. It also it's just funny watching Brock Purdy run.
It is
Like
really.
when I was listening to well, I forgot what I was listening to, but someone was like, he looks like Forrest Gump when he still has his leg braces.
No, 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 you can't do that. Don't do that
Yeah.
to Brock. That's messed up, dude.
But
Forrest
it's
Gump with the
kind
leg
of
braces.
you're never gonna picture him running any other way.
I mean, but like he runs like Patrick Mahomes. They
Yeah,
kind
he
they
runs goofy too.
they scoot. They run like Muppets a little bit. Like even though the
Yup.
thing is Patrick Mahomes sounds like a Muppet, he runs like a Muppet too. He looks like he's just on
Facts.
little strings, just going scooting along.
Yep. But like, I all honesty, like as rough as it was to see that happen to the Lions, they're only going to bounce back from this. I think like they're a team that's built to bounce back, especially since they are retaining their offensive coordinator, who was probably one of the top head coaching options out there, but he realizes what they have. He's like, I'd rather stay here and win it before I leave this great like opportunity and situation that I'm in right now.
Dan
And especially
Campbell.
having a head coach like Campbell, man, is key. Like he is like the coach that every single football organization, any sports organization should really want. Like he is fiery, he is passionate, but he also like, you know, he can keep it reined in when he needs to, but he doesn't do it often.
The thing about it is he doesn't have to really rein it in because he's so lovable.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like, he has that aspect of like, you know, he's he's tough, gritty, he's a man's man, but like
Mm,
he's such a culture setter. Like he's an instant culture setter. People want to follow him, not just because the words he say, because he does things. Like a lot of people were killing
right.
him for those fourth down, going for it on fourth down, but like when you're in a conference championship game, you don't divert from what you do.
Mm,
You don't. I think
nope.
maybe
You roll with it.
you like when he settled for the 3 points before the
Mm,
half. I think that really messed with him because he was like, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to go for it. Maybe he would have like settled for the points
mm.
later on if he had uh gone for it in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Like he
Yeah.
I think he was overthinking a lot of things, and or maybe just stop thinking.